We're gonna answer some questions here. People leave comments on videos all the time, and that's great. If you would like to have your questions answered too, leave comments on videos. I scour all the comments and try to find cool questions, common questions and stuff like that. So leave comments, it's a great thing to do. And this thing is not even plugged in, and I don't even know why I'm starting yet. I need to grab a beer real quick. I will be back. Oh yeah, it's Doug Cunnington here from Niche Site Project, and we're gonna do some Q&A today. All right, we have a homebrew triple right here, and it looks like a lot of foam, but trust me, it's going to settle out. So we'll check back on that in a minute. Let's get to the questions right now. I'm gonna read out the questions we're gonna go over here. So first one we have, this is from Panagiotis. Panagiotis. Sorry, I'm mispronouncing your name, I know it. So what is the name of the plugin I recommend for tables? Next question, this is an interesting one, and it actually surprised me a little bit, but I think you'll find it interesting too. This is from Tiaz, and it says, no offense, but sir, why are all the SEO experts bald? Okay, so I have a lot of thoughts on that, and we'll definitely get to it. So that's question number 2. Next question, this is from Top Reviews. It says, how can I scale my Amazon business from 2 orders a week to 20 orders a day? All right, so that's the last one. We're gonna go through each of these a little bit to just tell you what I think. So number 1 is the tables. So I don't like plugins that much. I feel like they slow your site down. It's one more thing to worry about. And if you're not careful, you'll end up with like a dozen plugins or a couple dozen plugins. And you know, one of them is not gonna be a big deal, but when you have so many of them, it does slow your site down. So I generally don't recommend a table plugin at all. I recommend that you use an HTML table generator. I'll put a link in the description of the one that I use, but it loads fast. Basically, it's responsive, you can format it, and it's easier to use, in my opinion, than any of the plugin solutions out there. All right, so that's just my pure opinion, and I've used several other table plugins like TablePress. I've used Azon Tables, which is one that actually, if you must have a plugin, if you're not gonna take my advice, you may as well use that one. It works with the Amazon API and good functionality, it does the job if you must have one. Other plugins I've just not really enjoyed using, and again, I dislike plugins, so I try not to use them. So that's my stance. And I'll put a link on some of my other thoughts that I've written out in a blog post about tables and that sort of thing. Second question, that funny joker wanted to know why there's a lot of bald people that are into SEO. If you're not sure who some of these other bald SEOs are, Brian Dean, he doesn't have a ton of hair. You have Neil Patel. I think he's gone to shave his head nowadays. And there's John Dykstra as well. He is bald, and I think it's a great look. We can really sort of get out of our like small frames, and we have a bald head, it looks tough, and I think it's good. And actually, in my opinion, I mean, I held on to my hair for a little while, and I just cut it shorter and shorter. But once I started shaving it, it was great, and I loved it, and it's lower maintenance. I do need to wear a hat all the time and wear sunscreen. You don't want to get sunburned and stuff like that on your head. Very tender skin and that sort of thing. The point is, there's a lot of bald people all over the place, and if you're on the edge, for the gentlemen out in the audience here, if you are going bald a little bit, just shave your head. It's much better. It's a choice, and it's making a decision versus just like taking what's given to you, which is a thinning male pattern baldness hair situation, and it's just much better to shave it. So it's like you can just shave your head, or you're walking around like George Costanza. Okay, next question. This is from Top Reviews, or whoever the person was. They're making a couple sales per week, and they want to make 20 sales per day. So they're trying to figure out how to go from like not much activity to a lot of activity. And there's a couple things you need to think about. First, we do need to check in here and see the foam went away. It's all good. A Belgian beer like this does need to be highly carbonated, and a lot of times the foam will just die down. So this is a homebrew triple that I made. Pretty good. I'm very happy with it. So cheers. So if you're making just a couple sales a day, that probably means, or a couple sales per week, it probably means you're getting a little bit of traffic, maybe 20 to 50 visitors a day, something like that. Maybe not quite that many, but you're getting some traffic. So the key thing is to look at what's working. You look at the posts on your site that are actually getting traffic. Pretty straightforward to do. Use Google Analytics. You'll probably have a hunch based on the products that are being sold, and you probably just know based on the content. And if you want to sell a lot more, so we're looking at, I think that's like 700% growth if you're going from that sort of level, 2 products per week. Basically, you need to add a lot more content. So I don't know the details of this person's site. I don't know the details of the content or the promotion or the age of the site or anything like that. So there's a few things you have to think about. Probably you need to add more content. All right, it's unclear. I'm going to assume there's not that much. The other part is patience. So even if you have, say, 20 or 30 or 50 posts out there, if your site's only, say, a month old, you have to be patient. So if you're making a couple sales already, that's a great sign. That's a small win, and you can tell that you're doing something right. Most likely, if you be patient and you make it past the 6-month period, most likely you're gonna have a lot more growth, and it'll be gradual as time goes on, as the post age, as your site ages. You're probably going to get a little more traffic, and you're probably going to make more sales just naturally as the site ages. So if your site's younger than 6 months, you need to be patient, wait a little longer. If your site's older than 6 months and you do have a lot of content, then you maybe need to look at the promotion aspect on your site. There's only a few thumb screws with an affiliate site or a lot of other content-based sites. It's keywords and content that people are searching for, and then the other part is promotion and links and actually ranking in Google. Yes, there are some other aspects. Those are the main things with the model of site that I'm looking at. So that said, if your site's over 6 months old, if you have like 50 posts at least, and you're only making a couple sales per day, you need to go back and look at your keywords, look at, make sure that stuff's right. So look at those keywords, look at your content, make sure it's up to the task to actually make the sales. If it is, right, if the grammar's good, if the content's good, if it's competitive as far as, it's on par with your competition, that is, then look to link building. If you don't have any links and all your competition has a lot of links, maybe they've done guest posts, maybe they've reached out to newspapers or news channels and they've been featured somehow or another, you should probably figure out how to do that too. So if your competition has links and you do not have links, that is probably a deciding factor. And I want to go back to one aspect. This person is making 2 sales per week. That means something is working. So it's really key to look at the things that are working and figure out why they're working. Look at some areas that are not working, figure out why it's not working there, and learn from the mistakes that you made and learn from the successes that you have so that you can do more of that. Those are my tips, and I think it's not gonna happen overnight, right? If you wanna grow by 700%, you're gonna have to do a lot of work, and it will take time. But it's great to think how can I really accelerate the growth? Oftentimes, it takes a lot more work than what we initially think. Things take longer than we think. I know I'm very guilty of this. I just underestimate things chronically. I'm getting better because I know that's a thing, but if it takes 15 minutes to get to the store on the best case scenario, and I always assume that it's gonna take 15 minutes, I'm gonna be late most of the time because the best case scenario rarely happens. All right, thanks for checking out this video. If you're new to the channel, by the way, have a look around, look at some other videos. If you like what you see, please subscribe. I put some links in the description, so do follow those and check them out. There's lots of templates and stuff like that. If you sign up for my email list, I'll put a link in there for that as well. So thanks a lot. We'll see you on the next video.